Have you ever stopped and wondered why, in a time where every royal move gets tracked online within seconds, two children connected to the British throne are barely ever seen? People aren't just chatting about this on social media anymore. The whispers are now spreading through palace circles, and even legal experts are starting to question what's really going on behind closed doors. Something serious seems to be building inside those royal walls, and the old never complain, never explain strategy suddenly looks weak under the pressure. For the first time in generations, questions about the future of the monarchy are being linked to documents, medical records, and paperwork issues that critics claim just don't fully make sense. Lady C recently stepped forward and claimed there's an active investigation connected to the births of Archie and Lilibet, and the response from Meghan and Harry reportedly sent shockwaves through royal watchers everywhere. Now people are asking what investigators may have found and why the situation is creating so much tension over in Montecito. The entire mystery reportedly begins with one tiny detail most people would scroll right past without noticing. But investigators and online analysts say small details are exactly where major stories can crack open. The focus lands on a single number connected to a birth certificate. In the United States, birth records follow a strict coding system handled through federal and state offices. On the public record tied to Princess Lilibet, there's reportedly a geographic code meant to identify where the birth took place. Meghan and Harry publicly stated California as the birth location. But according to people who closely examined the document, there's an inconsistency that instantly raised eyebrows. California's official geographic code is said to be 104. However, critics claim the document connected to Lilibet shows the number 105 instead. And that's where the controversy exploded online, because according to the federal coding system being discussed, 105 reportedly does not match California at all. According to online claims, the code reportedly points to Colorado instead of California, and that discovery sent royal commentators into total chaos. People immediately started asking the same question. If Lilibet was officially said to be born at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital, then how did a Colorado-linked code allegedly appear on the paperwork? Some believe it could simply be an administrative mix-up, but others think the situation feels way too specific to ignore and suspect there could be more happening behind the scenes. That's where long-running rumors about surrogacy started getting pulled back into the spotlight again. Now to be clear, surrogacy is legal in the United States, and many families use it privately every year. But because of old royal succession traditions, online critics argue that questions around birth documentation connected to members of the monarchy could trigger serious public debate. That's why this story keeps growing louder across royal media circles. Some analysts believe that if a child were born in another state through a surrogate arrangement and later registered elsewhere, the paperwork process could become extremely complicated with updated or amended records involved. Because of that, critics online started wondering if the 105 code could possibly point toward a paperwork trail the public was never expected to notice. And when someone is connected to the royal line of succession, even a tiny clerical issue suddenly becomes headline news. Royal historians and commentators say the monarchy has always treated birth records with intense seriousness because succession laws are tied directly to official documentation. But this controversy doesn't stop with one number on a document. People are now revisiting an old royal tradition known as the Yellow Folder Protocol. And that's where things get even more dramatic. For more than a century, royal births reportedly followed a strict public procedure. After a royal baby was born, an official signed notice would traditionally be displayed outside Buckingham Palace on an ornate easel for the public to see. This wasn't just ceremonial decoration. Supporters of the tradition say it acted as official confirmation connected to the royal birth itself. The bulletin would reportedly be signed by royal physicians or the medical professionals who attended or verified the birth. The public saw these notices for Prince William, Prince Harry, and all three of William and Catherine's children. Historians say the tradition became deeply tied to old succession rules dating back hundreds of years, where proof of royal birth carried enormous constitutional importance. But when Archie was born back in 2019, royal watchers immediately noticed something unusual. The traditional easel announcement was displayed, but the doctor's signatures were missing. Palace officials reportedly explained it away by saying the announcement happened too quickly. Yet critics online weren't convinced for 1 second. Then came Lilibet's birth in America 2 years later, and that's when people say the entire royal protocol seemed to disappear completely. There was reportedly no official palace bulletin, no royal physician signatures, and no public verification tied to the royal medical household. That break from tradition instantly sparked intense debate across royal media and online communities. For critics, the missing verification created what they describe as a legal and constitutional gray area. Supporters of the Sussexes argue the couple deserved privacy and freedom from old palace customs, especially while living in the United States. But skeptics pushed back hard, saying the monarchy has historically relied on formal procedures to avoid confusion around succession matters. And in a royal family already shaken by interviews, documentaries, and public accusations, many commentators say trust between the palace and the Sussexes was already hanging by a thread. Because of that, every missing detail suddenly became magnified under a microscope. A lot of the speculation now centers around the missing signatures themselves. Critics claim those absent names became the foundation for nearly every theory that followed afterward. And then attention shifted toward the medical professionals reportedly connected to Lilibet's birth, which only added more fuel to the conversation. One of the names linked publicly to the birth was Dr. Melissa Drake, a respected OB/GYN based in Santa Barbara with an established medical career. But after news surrounding Lilibet's birth spread worldwide, online rumors started exploding after reports claimed Dr. Drake quietly closed her practice not long afterward. Some people believe it was simply a personal life decision, a relocation, or retirement. Others, especially royal conspiracy commentators, started treating the timing like a giant red flag. In royal gossip circles, people often believe there's always more happening behind the curtain than the public gets to see. Critics of Harry and Meghan began speculating wildly, suggesting strict privacy agreements or pressure from media attention may have played a role. However, there has never been public evidence proving any wrongdoing connected to Dr. Drake or the Sussexes. Even so, the sudden disappearance from public visibility only made the online theories grow louder and more dramatic. Critics keep asking the same uncomfortable question. If everything surrounding the birth records was completely routine, then why did so many details seem to fade into silence afterward? Some people argue that any doctor connected to such a major royal moment would normally be remembered proudly in history books. Instead, the lack of public clarity has only made speculation grow even louder online. And once that silence started, theories about surrogacy, private legal arrangements, and hidden paperwork exploded across royal discussion circles. Supporters of Harry and Meghan say much of the speculation crosses personal boundaries and ignores their right to privacy. But skeptics continue claiming the issue goes beyond gossip because royal succession rules are tied directly to official records and historical procedures. What makes this story even wilder is that the monarchy has faced birth legitimacy controversies before. This isn't some brand new internet-age drama. British history already has a shocking example that royal historians still talk about centuries later. Back in 1688, the monarchy was rocked by what became known as the warming pan scandal. After Mary of Modena, the wife of King James II, gave birth to a son, rumors spread across England claiming the real baby had supposedly died and another infant was secretly brought into the room hidden inside a warming pan. The story caused total public hysteria at the time and damaged trust in the royal family in a massive way. Because of that scandal, later royal births reportedly became surrounded by strict witness rules designed to prevent any doubts about legitimacy. For years, even high-ranking government officials were expected to observe or verify royal births to stop accusations of baby switching or secret arrangements. Modern royal procedures have changed over time, of course, but historians say one principle still remains deeply tied to succession law: the idea that heirs must legally qualify as heirs of the body under long-standing royal rules. Legal commentators often point toward the 1701 Act of Settlement, which established strict succession guidelines connected to royal bloodlines. Some experts have publicly debated whether current laws fully account for modern surrogacy arrangements. especially since those laws were written centuries before today's medical practices even existed. That's why commentators like Lady C and other royal insiders keep hinting at possible legal complications if any future investigation ever challenged official birth procedures. Critics argue that if laws surrounding succession were interpreted strictly, Parliament itself could eventually be forced to address the issue directly. And suddenly, a centuries-old royal controversy from 1688 doesn't feel so distant anymore. It feels connected to headlines happening right now. Then there's the issue that keeps exploding all over social media: the photos. In today's world, celebrities and royals are photographed nonstop. So many people find it strange that clear public images of Archie and Lilibet remain so rare. Most of the pictures released over the years have been distant shots, black and white edits, side angles, or photos taken from behind. And that mystery has only made online speculation spiral even harder. Whenever a new image does appear, internet detectives immediately start analyzing every tiny detail like it's part of a crime scene investigation. Online forums and video creators have repeatedly claimed certain photos of the Sussex children may have been heavily edited or digitally enhanced. Some point to changing hair shades between appearances, while others focus on height comparisons and age estimates they believe don't line up consistently. One image that sparked major debate was the 2021 Christmas card photo. Critics online argued that Lilibet appeared smaller than expected for her reported age, while others dismissed those claims as ridiculous internet overanalysis. Then came the famous birthday photo showing her sitting in the grass, which triggered another wave of commentary after some digital image enthusiasts claimed the picture showed signs of possible compositing or background editing. Supporters of Harry and Meghan strongly defend the couple's right to protect their children's privacy and argue that edited photos, filters, and stylized photography are completely normal in celebrity culture. But skeptics continue questioning why the family avoids more straightforward public appearances if the goal is to quiet the rumors once and for all. To critics, the carefully staged images only deepen the mystery instead of calming it. Some commentators even describe the children as feeling almost invisible within public royal life, because so little official footage or candid imagery exists compared to previous generations of royals. And then there's Prince Harry's own memoir, Spare, which unexpectedly added even more fuel to the online debates. In the book, Harry described Archie's birth with personal details meant to give readers an intimate look into the moment. But some readers quickly started pointing out parts of the timeline they felt sounded unusual. One detail especially grabbed attention. Harry wrote that after arriving at the hospital for Archie's birth, the family was reportedly back home in Windsor just a couple of hours later. Online critics immediately questioned whether such a fast turnaround after childbirth sounded realistic, especially for a royal birth under heavy security and medical supervision. Others defended Harry, saying memoirs are emotional recollections rather than medical reports, and small timing details can easily be misremembered. Still, every unusual detail in the story keeps feeding the endless online theories surrounding the Sussex family and their children. On the surface, Harry's story about Archie's birth sounded almost unbelievable in a heroic way, like everything happened perfectly fast and smoothly. But once people started breaking down the timeline, critics claimed the details didn't seem to add up in real-world conditions. The Portland Hospital in London, where Archie was reportedly born, isn't exactly around the corner from Frogmore Cottage. Even on a good traffic day, the drive can reportedly take close to an hour. Online commentators quickly started calculating the timing and questioning how the family could supposedly arrive at the hospital, go through labor and delivery, complete recovery checks, handle paperwork, and return home within only a couple of hours. Medical professionals and royal observers also pointed out that hospitals often monitor mothers for a period after childbirth, especially if pain relief treatments or epidurals are involved. Because of that, critics argued the timeline described in Spare felt unusually rushed and difficult to picture realistically. Then readers focused on another part of Harry's story that instantly went viral online. In the memoir, Harry described using so much laughing gas during the birth that nurses supposedly had to bring in another tank. He also mentioned eating Nando's chicken in the delivery room during the process. Supporters saw the details as funny, relatable, and meant to humanize the experience. But critics mocked the story heavily, saying it sounded more like a movie scene than a tightly controlled royal hospital environment. Those unusual details sparked endless internet debates, with some people accusing Harry of exaggerating events for storytelling purposes. Others defended him by saying memoirs are naturally written with emotion, humor, and personal memory, rather than strict documentary precision. Still, skeptics argued that if parts of the birth story felt dramatized, it opened the door for even more public suspicion about what was fully accurate and what may have been polished for the book. Now the focus has shifted beyond birth stories and toward the future of Archie and Lilibet themselves. According to royal commentators and unnamed insiders, tensions between Harry and Meghan reportedly continue growing over how public their children should become in the years ahead. Many believe Harry wants the children protected from the non-stop pressure of fame and social media. After losing Princess Diana under such intense public attention, commentators say Harry has become deeply cautious about exposing his kids to the same kind of spotlight. Reports claim he prefers a quieter California upbringing where Archie and Lilibet can live as normally as possible until they're old enough to decide their own path. Meanwhile, Meghan is often described by media commentators as highly focused on branding, business ventures, and public image. With projects tied to lifestyle media and entertainment, critics speculate she may see controlled public appearances involving the children as beneficial to the Sussex family's overall brand visibility. Royal watchers frequently compare this situation to the very public image surrounding William and Catherine's children, who regularly appear during official royal events and global media coverage. According to royal insiders and media commentators, one of the biggest reported tensions between Harry and Meghan centers around how visible their children should be to the public. Some critics claim Meghan believes that keeping Archie and Lilibet almost completely out of sight weakens their connection with the public and reduces long-term media interest surrounding the Sussex family brand. Meanwhile, commentators often describe Harry as taking the total opposite approach. After growing up under non-stop royal attention and losing his mother in such a public tragedy, many believe he wants maximum protection and privacy for his children at almost any cost. And as Archie and Lilibet get older, insiders claim this disagreement is becoming harder to avoid behind closed doors. That's why some royal watchers have started framing the debate in a much darker way. Are the children simply being protected, or are they becoming part of a larger media strategy tied to fame, branding, and public influence? Supporters of the Sussexes say these claims are unfair and invasive, but critics argue the clash between privacy and publicity could eventually put enormous strain on the marriage itself. While all of this reportedly unfolds in Montecito, palace insiders claim the royal family is watching the situation very carefully from the UK. King Charles is said to be stuck in an incredibly difficult position. On one side, he's a grandfather who reportedly wants peace within the family. On the other, he's responsible for protecting the image and stability of a monarchy that has operated for centuries. And according to repeated royal reports, Prince William is allegedly far less patient about the ongoing controversy. Commentators claim William is deeply frustrated that questions surrounding succession rules and royal procedures continue hanging over the monarchy without clear answers. As the future king, sources say he wants consistency in the system his own children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, will eventually inherit. Now rumors are swirling about what some commentators call a possible cleanup operation behind palace walls. According to speculation circulating in royal media, private requests for additional verification or confidential records could potentially be discussed internally if concerns about succession procedures ever became serious enough. However, no public evidence has confirmed any official investigation or legal action involving Archie or Lilibet. At the same time, online discussions about possible title removals and parliamentary involvement continue popping up across royal coverage. King Charles has long been viewed as someone who avoids open conflict whenever possible, but commentators believe ongoing health concerns and the future transition to William's reign may be increasing pressure to resolve family tensions sooner rather than later. Royal observers say the king's silence may not necessarily signal weakness at all. Instead, they believe he could simply be weighing political, legal, and personal consequences very carefully before making any major move. And while arguments over birth records continue online, some experts believe an even bigger legal and public relations battle could eventually emerge in the United States as well. What's happening with Archie and Lilibet has created a situation many commentators describe as completely unprecedented in modern royal history. Here are two children carrying royal titles tied to the British monarchy while growing up in the United States, a country founded after rejecting royal rule altogether. And that contradiction has started raising serious debate on both sides of the Atlantic. Critics in political and media circles have increasingly questioned what it actually means to hold prince and princess titles while living as private citizens in California. Some commentators argue it creates confusion because royal titles have no legal authority in America, yet they still carry enormous public influence and celebrity power. This debate goes far beyond simple etiquette or tabloid drama. Legal analysts and constitutional commentators have discussed whether the public use of royal titles in American media, activism, and commercial ventures creates uncomfortable political territory. The U.S. Constitution has historically been cautious about foreign nobility and inherited status, which is why the issue keeps attracting attention whenever the Sussexes appear in political conversations or major public campaigns. Critics claim that titles like prince and princess can unintentionally create a sense of elevated authority in spaces where all citizens are supposed to stand equal under the law. Supporters push back hard against that argument, saying the titles are symbolic family designations with no legal power whatsoever. Still, the controversy keeps growing whenever royal branding overlaps with American celebrity culture and public influence. Some royal observers now speculate that if Archie and Lilibet eventually become publicly connected to business ventures, media projects, or celebrity branding tied to their royal status, Buckingham Palace could face pressure to establish clearer boundaries about how those titles are used outside the UK. Others believe the palace will continue avoiding public confrontation entirely to prevent an even bigger international media storm. At the same time, there's another layer to this story that fascinates royal conspiracy circles even more: the people behind the scenes inside the palace itself. Royal insiders often refer to senior courtiers and longtime palace officials as the men in gray. The quiet figures believed to handle sensitive royal logistics, crisis management, and internal strategy far away from cameras and headlines. For years, rumors have circulated online about a supposed secret dossier connected to the Sussexes' departure from royal duties. According to speculation repeated in royal media circles, this alleged file could contain everything from internal staff complaints and family tensions to private discussions surrounding the couple's time inside the monarchy. Some conspiracy-minded commentators even claim the rumored dossier includes confidential details connected to the births of Archie and Lilibet. However, there has never been verified public evidence proving such a document exists. Even so, the mystery surrounding what the palace may know and what it may never publicly reveal continues fueling non-stop fascination around the Sussex saga. A lot of royal commentators keep asking the same question. If the palace truly has damaging information connected to the Sussex situation, then why hasn't any of it been released publicly? According to longtime royal observers, the monarchy has always treated information like a strategic weapon. In palace politics, silence can sometimes carry more power than open confrontation. Some analysts believe that as long as sensitive files, private reports, or internal records remain hidden, the royal family maintains leverage over future conflicts with Harry and Meghan. That's why conspiracy-minded royal watchers often claim the palace is carefully holding back, rather than reacting emotionally to every interview, documentary, or memoir released from Montecito. According to these theories, if another major tell-all project ever crossed what insiders view as a final line, senior palace officials could potentially respond through carefully controlled leaks or behind-the-scenes briefings that shift public opinion dramatically. None of this has ever been confirmed publicly, but the idea of a cold strategic standoff between the Sussexes and the palace has become one of the biggest narratives surrounding the royal drama. Critics of the monarchy say the institution survives by controlling timing, perception, and access to information better than almost anyone in the world. Supporters argue the palace stays quiet simply to avoid escalating family disputes publicly. Either way, many observers believe Buckingham Palace prefers playing the long game instead of responding immediately to controversy. As 2026 moves forward, more commentators have started noticing what they describe as a growing professional split between Harry and Meghan. Harry has increasingly appeared at solo charity events, court appearances, and UK-related engagements without Meghan by his side. Those appearances have fueled non-stop speculation that he may slowly be rebuilding connections inside Britain and possibly even exploring a more independent role away from California. Meanwhile, Meghan remains strongly associated with American media projects, business ventures, and lifestyle branding opportunities based in the United States. Because of that, royal commentators say the couple's public paths seem to be drifting further apart than ever before. And if that separation becomes permanent, people are already asking what it could mean for Archie and Lilibet. The children sit at the center of both worlds, connected to the British monarchy by blood and titles, but also growing up inside American celebrity culture. Some royal analysts speculate that if Harry ever returned to Britain in a more official or semi-official capacity, questions surrounding the children's residency, schooling, and royal involvement could become extremely complicated very quickly. Would they remain in California living private American lives, or would pressure build for them to spend more time connected to royal traditions in the UK? Commentators also believe Meghan would likely fight hard to keep the children close to her in California, especially given how closely their identities are tied to the global attention surrounding the Sussex family. On the other side, palace traditionalists may eventually view the children as important future royal figures who should understand the customs, structure, and responsibilities of the monarchy firsthand. And if family tensions continue growing, that debate could become one of the most explosive royal battles yet. The battle over Archie and Lilibet's future has become the hidden layer behind almost every public move Harry and Meghan make today. According to royal commentators, the real issue isn't just media attention, titles, or public appearances, it's legacy. Every decision now seems tied to what role the children will eventually play inside or outside the monarchy. King Charles is often described as a transitional monarch, a figure standing between Queen Elizabeth's decades of stability and the future reign of Prince William. Because of that, many analysts believe Charles is extremely cautious about how history will remember his time on the throne. The last thing he reportedly wants is for his reign to become defined by endless family conflict or public controversy surrounding questions tied to his grandchildren. That's one reason commentators believe the king has been so careful about avoiding dramatic action against Harry and Meghan, despite years of tension. Even after interviews, documentaries, and public criticism aimed at the royal family, Charles is still believed to hope for some kind of reconciliation, or at minimum, a private resolution that protects the monarchy's image and dignity. But Prince William is often portrayed very differently by royal insiders. Analysts say he represents a more modern and direct style of leadership, shaped by years of watching public scandals and media battles tear through the family. Because of that experience, commentators claim William has far less patience for unresolved controversies hanging over the institution. For William, the issue reportedly goes beyond personal feelings or family disagreements. Royal experts suggest he sees clarity around succession and royal procedure as essential for protecting the monarchy's long-term stability. In his view, unanswered questions, whether fair or unfair, can eventually weaken public trust in the crown itself. Commentators also believe William is deeply focused on protecting the future of his own children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, from facing similar public scrutiny one day. That's why some insiders argue he wants a system where succession rules are applied consistently and transparently to everyone connected to the royal line. And according to many royal observers, the growing tension between King Charles's desire for peace and Prince William's demand for clarity may ultimately shape what happens next for Harry, Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet in the years ahead. We're now reaching what many royal commentators believe could be a major turning point in the entire Sussex saga. Public patience with mystery, silence, and carefully controlled appearances seems to be wearing thinner by the day. In today's world, transparency has become its own kind of power, and critics argue that the strategy of staying private while remaining globally visible is starting to create more questions than protection. Whether people focus on the controversy surrounding the alleged 105 code, the missing medical signatures, or the non-stop debates over photos and timelines, one thing is clear: the speculation hasn't slowed down at all. In fact, every unanswered question seems to make the conversation even louder across social media, television, and royal circles worldwide. The next year could easily become one of the most important chapters yet in the ongoing divide between the Sussexes and the palace. With court battles continuing, new media projects rumored to be in development, and public pressure growing on both sides, many believe some version of the truth will eventually come into the spotlight. Now, whether that truth turns out to be a dramatic revelation that changes public opinion forever, or simply a series of misunderstandings blown out of proportion by media chaos, nobody knows yet. But the tension surrounding Harry, Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet continues hanging over the monarchy like a storm cloud that refuses to disappear. One thing nobody can deny is this: the world is watching closely. Buckingham Palace is staying unusually quiet, and the pressure surrounding the Sussex story keeps building with every passing month. And as rumors, theories, and royal power struggles continue colliding, people everywhere are asking the same question. Are we witnessing the unraveling of a carefully managed public image, or has the internet simply turned uncertainty into a global obsession? Now I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts and theories down in the comments because this debate is getting more intense by the day. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others following the royal drama. Stay tuned because the next twist in this story could arrive when nobody expects it.